One of the other plot holders asked me if I wanted a root cutting of some lovage, so I said yes please, and she left me a piece just for scale. That's my foot. So that is a root cutting. I mean, you can see the size of the thing, so I'll put it in the biggest pot I can find for now. Okay, so I've put that into this half barrel. Because there was a big piece of root that is growing like that, I couldn't put it right in the middle, the main plant, but it doesn't really matter because it will spread and fill up this space anyway. I will come and mulch it later, and I will keep watering it to let it settle in. But obviously I can't put too much water in because it will just run out the bottom, so I'll just have to keep watering it every day to keep the roots moist. But obviously that's a lot of plant, so I'm going to take some of the strain off the plant by pruning a good chunk of this off. Right, I've given that a good prune, cut all this stuff off, and I've left a little bit because obviously you want it to photosynthesize. I've left a little bit there, but most of it I've cut back quite severely, and then the roots don't have to work quite so hard. Unfortunately, we've got forecast for quite a few days of sunny weather and a heat wave. Not the ideal time to be transplanting something like lovage, but you do it when you get it, so I've got no choice. I'll just have to find somewhere shading it a little bit and keep watering it and looking after it for a few days, and in a couple of weeks it'll be alright. Well, these sunflowers are too big for these old bamboo canes. It broke the first cane, so I put another one in and it broke that within 5 minutes. So that one needs replacing, that one is leaning over and needs replacing, and this one looks like it's about to go as well. So I'll have to do something else. Fortunately, I've got a lot of these pipes and things, so I will hammer one of these in. Right, that's sort of done, but it's even pulled that in, and I hammered this in as far as it would go, and it's still pulled this over, so I'll have to get a heavier mallet. The greenhouse is doing well. I've had a big pick, but still tomatoes coming through, and lots of flowers, and all the orange at the back there, that's all peppers, and there's peppers coming along here as well, and here. So they're doing alright. They're small, but they're coming, and it's still flowering, so they're doing alright. Got one of the 3 cucumbers in the greenhouse come through okay, but the rest are dead. I think indoor cucumbers, really, they need to be looked after on a daily basis, otherwise that's what you get. I mean, that's the pepper next to it, so it's not total neglect, but they just died because they need constant regular watering, not too wet and not too dry. And when you're not here every day, we might be away for 2 or 3 days, then the cucumbers suffer. But other plants seem to be doing alright, so next year I think I'll grow cucumbers at home or outside. This is what happens when you try and use cardboard to mulch the beds. All this stuff is just coming in between the pots and climbing over the pots, and it's all coming in between the bits of cardboard. As you can see, it's actually, look at that, it's actually gone through, not even between the gaps. It's actually gone through a weakness of the bit of cardboard, and they're all over the place. I've made a badger proof cage, hopefully it's badger proof, for the sweetcorn. We'll see how it does. And basically I've used this black fencing to cover this, and it goes all the way around. Now the back is okay because it's got the back of the cold frame, but the front is open, so it overlaps, and all I've got to do to get in is untie this knot, and I might tie another one down there, and then that will secure it. The sides are okay, but this front bit is where it could potentially be weak, because that sweet corn is at the edge of the cold frame. So all this bit is actually the extra space I've had to leave as the squashes seem to keep going. So I've left them a bit more room. These ones that were actually concreted in are now used to hold back the fencing. I haven't actually tied it back, just used it to hold it up, because it won't go that way, and it can't go that way really, because it's tied to the others, so nothing can push against it that way. But yeah, the weak point is round here, and I will get some stones and slabs. I will put them round here. The beans are doing okay. They're growing. Some of these are at the top. These gherkins that I put outside seem to be doing fine. I've had a few off them and they're still flowering and fruiting, so they're doing fine. That one died. And the San Marzano tomatoes outdoors seem to be doing fine. Nice big trusses. That one is actually starting to go red. But yeah, we've got nice big trusses of tomatoes on them. So I'll definitely be doing that again. Right, this bath of potatoes is ready to come out. It's all died back. It's all died back. There's a few little green bits, but that's alright. So, okay, so far, these are Kestrels. And yeah, so, yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Right. So I shall have a dig around in that and bring you back. So. Yeah. Okay. So we'll see how it goes. But it looks good. Okay. That's a reasonable haul, considering I didn't water these. Excuse the banging, but that's the neighbours building something. Considering that this went in late and I didn't water it, that's not bad. I mean, the soil is fairly dry, but I hadn't watered it because I knew I was going to harvest it. Yeah, I could have probably watered it a little bit more, but for first time experiment growing potatoes in a bathtub, I'm pleased with that. I took the leaves off the top, put them in that builder's bag, and then went through and dug through and made sure I've got all the little potatoes out. I mean, there's a few digit pea-sized ones at the bottom, but I'll get rid of these. I don't want them in here. I've gone through and taken out anything that's bigger than a pea, so that should be fine. And then this bath will be ready for the garlic. So the next thing is to just put the mulch back on top, and it can wait till October when I put the garlic in. I don't really need the bath for anything at the moment, so I'm not going to plant anything in there. I mean, I could try a cat's crop, but I've got plenty of space, so I don't need it. I've got plenty of space and no time, so I don't need to use this bath again until I put the garlic in. Right, so I've lowered the soil off. Another fun potato. That's basically ready for the garlic now. So all I'm going to do is put the mulch back on. Managed to get it back on without causing any damage. Losing half of it through going down the sides. Right, there's a few bits of potato stalks that go. So, oops, he's gone now. I can see worms in here, so this will sit, and obviously the leaves will break down, and what I'll do, well, in the autumn, what I've got to do is dig a hole, stick a garlic in and cover it back up. It'll be easy enough to plant the garlic in the autumn, and hopefully being in a bathtub it'll be away from things like white rot. If I get some more, I might actually add a bit more green clippings to the top of this. Now I put these half pallets that were going to be used to make a raised bed, so I've used them in here for now, and I will build a bed later. They're here, go around, so there's no way that a badger is going to dig under here. Well, the one problem is that the squash is too rampant. I know that's short sweetcorn, and even at this end where the squash isn't so rampant, it's still short. So I think next year I will not grow them in the same bed, or if I do grow squash and corn, I will grow a tall variety, because this short early variety is getting a bit swamped by the squash. I think this sweet corn, by the look of the tassels, looks like it's ready, so I'm going to try this one. So if I peel back and check, it wasn't ready yet. It's time to pick those Charlotte potatoes, but I've got to cut these brambles first, because they're in the way. They're just going in from the neighbours. My battery's running out, so I'll cut the brambles. These butternut squash have gone absolutely berserk, and they've basically taken over. I mean, I've taken the sweet corn, but the stalks are still there, but you can see that the butternut squash have gone absolutely berserk. So putting them in a cage is not a good idea. I mean, I did a combination to see what would happen, and obviously I needed a cage to protect against the badgers, but I won't put a cage round butternut squash again. And it was coming out here, and it was out here, so in the end I had to trim off some of the bits, because it was all coming into the path. But yeah, they've gone absolutely bonkers. And they've surrounded the sunflowers as well. We've got some nice sunflowers coming up. I mean, that one is, must be this one, maybe it's almost 2.5 meters tall. It's almost a metre taller than me, so more than 2.5 meters tall. Right, we've had a decent harvest out of the Charlotte, so it's about 1/3 of a carrier bag full out of a bathtub, so that's not bad. And we haven't had too many duff ones, a few slug eaten ones like this one, but that one is just got damaged. These are all damaged. The leaves did a pretty good job of keeping the sun off the potatoes. There was about 10 like this, but some of the bigger ones can be used as seed potatoes, so that's no problem. Growing potatoes in bathtubs, it can be done, but I'm sure I'd have got more if these were in the ground than I did from the bath. Now, one problem was I cleared all this stuff in April, and this was all at the level of that board, top of that board, and look at it now. It's all the brambles and rubbish coming in from the next door, and the potatoes I put in this bath, I mean, got the bramble. They have come over and grown this way to get some light, so instead of going up, and there's a bit there, and there's some bits poking through the brambles, and there's a lot of it. It's come this way quite a distance. If I can step back a bit, you can see it's come this way quite a lot to get away from the shade of the brambles. So definitely not going to grow anything in that one again. I think that's definitely going to be the wormery, and This one, I think I could grow something like watercress or landcress in this one. That's the bath that I was hoping to use for watercress, but you can see it's just like overtaken. So unless we do something about these brambles, there's no way I can put anything there. I've put a fence that is like 1 meter 20 high. Some of these brambles and nettles are about 2 meters tall, so I'm surprised this rhubarb managed to get anything. But wormberry and possibly something else in this corner, because the neighbour's brambles and nettles and all the other weeds just shade everything out. So I will pick this another day. It's still going, so I'll leave them for a bit longer, and I'm going to wash these because they're quite muddy, so I'm going to wash these and leave the mud here rather than take it home and clog the sink. So I'll wash these and I'll show you the final results. Well, that's half a butternut bowl full of the ones I've washed. These are the ones I'm saving for seed potatoes, and the ones that have got a little bit of green on them, they're fine, they'll be fine for seed potatoes. So I haven't washed those, obviously, so they keep better. And there are some little ones like these which I'm just going to throw in the compost. So not a brilliant harvest, but it's something. And I noticed once I washed these, this one, I couldn't see it because it was covered in mud, but it's going a bit squidgy, so that one needs to go, and yeah, that one as well. So these can go in the compost, the rest are perfectly fine. So got 2 or 3 meals out of that, so that's alright. These sunflowers are still going strong, but some of the heads are dried, and the birds will be munching on them soon enough. So the ones that have got suitable seeds I'm going to cut. So like this big one, the size of my hand. I mean, I haven't got massive hands, but so that's a fair sized one. These little ones I'll leave for the birds, but the big one I will take. These butternut squash have gone mental. I mean, they started way over at the back of the cold frame, and it's about a good 3 meters. So I think next year I will leave more space between the butternut squash. We've got some good sized ones, but they're a bit slow developing, and we're getting up to the time of frost, so they're not quite the right colour, but I think they'll be alright. The leaves still look healthy, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, we've got some good butternut squash coming up. And we've still got so many apples on this apple tree that I've run out of space, both in the garage and in the freezer. I've given a load away and it's still coming. So yeah, I might have to give this tree a little top pruning next year, or this winter, but it's certainly done well. And the autumn fruiting raspberries are still coming. Well, the greenhouse is coming to an end. We've still got some small peppers and some green tomatoes. And I've picked a load, and I've taken all the aubergines out now because they've had it. This chilli plant, I've taken a load off it. I think I've got enough chilies in the freezer to last me another 3 years. And yeah, I mean there's these little ones. I've taken the big ones off, so these little ones can grow. Still some red tomatoes, but I've just got that many tomatoes. I've left some of these. I've got picked some tomatoes, picked a bag of San Marzano tomatoes. Now they're not all ripe, but there's still a lot left on the plant, so I want to ripen those off. And this is all peppers, virtually a bread bag full of peppers, and another one of tomatoes, and a few cucumbers at the bottom. And I've got tomatoes there, and got some sunflower heads to pick as well, and that'll do, plus the apples. I've picked a couple more apples. Don't know what I'm going to do with them, but I've picked some. I'll find somebody to give them to, and pick the sunflowers, and all the other stuff is in this bag. So I think I'm loaded up enough for one day. Brought my lunch here, but the weather's turning, so I'm going to have my lunch seeing as I brought it, and then we'll see. But the weather looks like it's about to turn.